Okay, well, let's actually turn on the good microphone here. And let's sync up the sound. There we go. All right. So this is another one of those kind of unedited notes video. This is one where I'm just going to kind of talk free-flowing, not do a whole lot of editing. If anything, I might do a little bit of color correcting. But yeah, this is just going to be kind of a train of thought type of a video. And I wanted to use this opportunity just to talk about something that I've held very dearly, and something that's been a philosophy of mine since probably about high school. And this is something that I've actually seen turn around for the better. So this is more of like an encouragement to continue on the good work, and that is to stop being gatekeepers of music and continue to be ambassadors of music. Now, I've noticed that the trend has started to decrease, which I am all for. But there used to be this trend of being very exclusive and very, trying to think of the best word. I guess gatekeeping is the best word for that. Oh man, there we go. Yeah, gatekeeping of, opening up a conversation about music, or at least continuing a conversation about music, and then stonewalling people or almost shaming people for not knowing the different types of music that are available and out there, or specifically music that you enjoy. For example, if you're in a crowd and somebody's talking about Dream Theater, being all, well, you aren't really a big Dream Theater fan unless you've heard Change of Seasons, or unless you've heard Cleaning Out the Closet and Raise the Knife, right? Like that does nobody any good, for two reasons. One, you're kind of being a jerk, and when you're being so elitist, that's the word I was looking for. When you're being so elitist in that sense, you're turning off the conversation. People would look at that and be like, okay, cool, maybe I don't want to check it out if this is the fan base that they have. And also, you kind of stop dead the conversation, because in my mind, the whole reason why somebody would do that is to be, hey, look at me, look how smart I am, look how cultured I am, look how indoctrinated I am within that particular groups. Being in, having 8 years of university behind my back, maybe 7, I would get a lot of those individuals piping up in class whenever we were studying something. And they would just raise their hand, and instead of asking a question, they would be, well, look how smart I am. Okay, I need to sneeze, and I'm definitely editing this out. Oh man, it's not coming. It's gonna bug me. It's not good. Okay. Back on track. Okay, no sneeze, but we're continuing on. And so, yeah, instead of either furthering a conversation or asking a legitimate question or anything like that, it would always just boil down to, look how smart I am. Let's all waste everybody's time to see how smart I am. And all you're doing is proving how much of a jerk and, time waster you are at the end of the day. So this could and had been applied to a lot of the music conversations that I was at least privy to. Pervy? I was at least exposed to throughout my youth, throughout my early adulthood, of these people that were going about all the normies. And that is another term that I cut out of your lexicon completely, because that's not a good stance to take. But again, if you're talking about music around people, it would be almost gatekeeping. It's just like, oh no, you don't deserve to listen to the complex interplay of, say, Meshuggah, or of the more complex craziness of Between the Buried and Me and Mastodon, right? And it's like, oh, you're not really a Pink Floyd fan unless you love the Final Cut. And that type of ideology, as I mentioned, is very exclusivary, elitist, definitely, gatekeeping. And what we should have been doing, and what I actually now see, is we are becoming more ambassadors. And this is a stance that I always took of, oh, you like Dream Theater? That's amazing. What's your favorite album from them? What's your favorite song? If you like them, maybe you want to try Haken, maybe you want to try Leprous, maybe you want to try all these different things. Like, being an ambassador to the music scene to broaden people's horizons instead of actively attempting to limit them, right? Like, it's almost like you're holding on to this music as though it is yours, and it's not yours. Like, you can enjoy it and you can fully appreciate it, but at the end of the day, it isn't your music, it's our music. And for you hoarding all this music like a dragon does nobody any good, least of all to yourself, because you're limiting the conversations that you could be having with these people. You know, I've had so many amazing conversations with people because of the music that I've introduced them to, and that makes me feel amazing. Like, knowing that I've introduced Haken to a Dream Theater fan and them gushing about it, and then after that, them going out and finding Next to None, and having an amazing conversation about the interplay and how Next to None even feels like periphery. And like, it's so rewarding when you open up the floodgates and act as an ambassador to music than it is of being on your elitist high horse and being like, well, I'm so much better than them because I know all the interplays and all the big stats of all these albums. I'm like, no, stop it. So I am very, very glad that this practice of being a gatekeeper for music is starting to go off the wayside. And I think part of it is having music being so much more accessible, based on streaming services. And this is where a lot of those hoity-toity gatekeeping elitists will still kind of chirp in and being like, oh, you haven't heard of all of King Crimson's albums because they're not available on all streaming services. Well, you're not really a true progressive rock fan because you haven't heard of all the construction projects. So no. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to come in and say. Keep up the good work in terms of being ambassadors, and for anybody that's hanging on to being more of an elitist, of being more of a gatekeeper, stop it. Share the music, share and share alike. Broaden other people's horizons. Don't limit it. And that's all I came on here to say. So hopefully you appreciated this little train of thought, free flow video. I'm going to do very, very little editing of this so you can kind of see how my train of thoughts work and what I normally would have edited out. That's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And I guess until next time, notes out. And I'm going to stop that there.